Dick. I'm gonna briefly. Though I am. So, let me explain the Dave Chappelle thing. I don't know if I explained it properly. I watched the Dave Chappelle stand-up routine, and if you haven't seen it, if you like Dave Chappelle back in the day, you'll probably like Dave Chappelle today. He's more anti-white than he used to be. Maybe, like, at least apparently so. But it's like, I don't have an issue with that. Like, if it's like, I don't know, I would be a hypocrite. I make fun of black people all the time. So Dave Chappelle can make fun of white people, right? I'm not going to hate him because he chooses to do so. I'm obviously going to temper my opinions of what he has to say based on that, but like, I'm not going to hate him because he does what I do all the time, every week, right? But a huge part of his stand-up was that after Sticks and Stones came out, his last special, he got a ton of shit for being transphobic because he had a skit about the LGBT in the alphabet people being like a group of people in a car. You have a gay guy, you have a lesbian, you have a bisexual dude, and then you have a in the back. And he basically says, like, the tranny is the person in this car making this ride unbearable for everybody else. And everyone said, oh, that's super transphobic. It's not fair to do that. And around that time, he made friends with a transgender person from San Francisco, obviously. And I think I did cover this, but just to lay the foundation again, real quick. Transgender person goes on Twitter after Dave Chappelle starts getting canceled, or tries to on Twitter, and says, Dave Chappelle's always treated me right. I'm transgender. I don't think he's transphobic. And people literally cyberbullied this friend of Dave Chappelle to death. 6 days after this tweet, he apparently jumps off a building, which is how you know that are not women, because a woman would never kill herself by jumping off a building, because that would pep her face. And when women kill themselves, they make sure their face is not with, so they can have an open casket funeral. This is a true thing, 100% true. Not making that up. It's not even a joke. Not even a joke. A woman would never kill herself in a way that pep her face. True fact. Anyways, Dave Chappelle ends the entire routine by saying, of course had a child, because for some reason the autogenophiles, when their girlfriend gets pregnant, something in them breaks and they go crazy and they tune out after they get pregnant, which is terrifying for women everywhere to know that their husband is one jealous pregnancy away from tuning out. But they had a kid, and it's a daughter, and Dave Chappelle said, if I ever have the opportunity to speak to this child when she's an adult, I will tell her that her father was a wonderful woman. And that was his closing joke, statement, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And that is a horrible thing, apparently. That's dead naming, that's transphobic, because apparently once you transition, your entire child and family history is wiped off the face of the planet, and nobody has a right to know any of that. So there's currently a riot going on outside of Netflix, and all the trans and trans supporters or enablers or whatever are outside the building protesting. And Dick Masterson and Vito, who is now the co-host of The Biggest Problem in the Universe, they're rebooting it together. I've not seen it, but I would not have high expectations for it, because Vito is literally insufferable. And this is the protest. This is the two of them, I think, out together.
We like jokes! 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 We like jokes!
So after they're walking around saying, we like jokes, we like Dave, then they start chanting trans lives matter. And now Vito is put on defensive because he also believes trans lives matter. So he's thinking, what can we do? What can we do to counter this trans lives matter chant? Vito has an idea. He's running with the sign. He has an idea. He's going to make his stand. He's going to counter the mob. Uh-oh. It's not working. The chant's not working. He has to change it up.
Dave's a very funny guy. I like his jokes. I like Dave. I like Dave.
Let's try I like Dave. Is that going to work?
I like his jokes. I'm in charge of the protest now.
Now they're chanting trans lives matter. What can they do? What can they do? Wait, there was something. I guess he chants it at the very end. I'm waiting for it. Oh, I like that sign back there. It says "Hate isn't funny." I disagree. There was. I guess I missed it. I was around with the video because it was so low quality. Vito at some point starts chanting Black Lives. Actually, it might be in this one because I think they get separated at some point. Vito starts having like a face off with the protesters, and Dick is like just filming it at this point. Oh, okay, it wasn't this one. He starts chanting Black Lives Matter like back at the audience. He's like, "No, I'm not racist. I'm not like one of these alt-right guys, you guys. I love trans women. I love POCs. I love POC trans women guys. I just like jokes and I like cuties." So this guy like just straight up like takes a sign and tears it. Like, grr, you don't get to have this sign anymore.
Why is he breaking my sign? Why is he breaking my sign? Don't I have free speech rights? Don't I have free speech rights as well as you?
No, you don't. And you're part of the problem, Vito.
Oh, look, there's such a... He's got a weapon! He's got a weapon! He's got a weapon! He's got a weapon! Oh, you want me to drop my weapon?
They literally tear his sign and then start screaming that he has a weapon. Like they broke his stick in half, and now his pointy-ended stick that they gave him is a weapon that they have to be afraid of. I can't imagine living in California.
Yes, get in leave. There's my weapon. We're not trying to have anything. I'm not discussing anything. We're trying not to have any. I'm just here to say that jokes are funny, people. Dave Chappelle is a funny guy.
I don't know how anyone could deal with this psycho bitch, like just inches from your face, trying to push you back. Like what? Because you said a joke is fun. Oh man, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I would be too angry.
I love Dave. I don't know.
And listen to their voices. Listen to that voice. It makes my blood boil. I can't do it. I can't go to one of these protests. I would snap.
I don't know why all the violence. I don't know why all the hate. I just love Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. It's a pork pie comedy. Dave Chappelle. They took my stick. They took my stick. My stick.
Look, they don't care. Like these people don't give a about you, bro. They don't give a about your rights or anything. This is great to them. The less that you have, the happier that they are. And you're on their side, bro. You're chanting the same thing that they are, except that, oh, I also like Dave Chappelle. Like, too bad,
my side, I need my poster board in the 299. What is that little guy doing?
Here, after that, I don't have a video for this. I think Dick is holding on to it because this is like really big news. This is like showing up on Fox News and MSNBC and shit. After this, at some point, this guy, who I believe is like an open LGBT homosexual, slams Dick against that concrete ball in the background, and I think he says that he went to the doctor afterwards and he is concussed because he was slammed against this concrete ball for holding a sign that says Dave is funny. And that also made the news. So Vito is like getting all this attention from like, I don't even know what to call it. They're not like alt-light. They're not like neocons. it's like the Gab boomers. The Gab boomers are like heralding Dick and Vito is like the paragons of free speech right now. Very, very twisted shit. And then immediately after this, I don't know. I think this is after this, because what happened is that after this, and Vito and Nick Rekieta have like a beef on Twitter because Vito is insufferable, and Vito is very aggressive for attention. If you mention him on Twitter and you have any number of followers, he will immediately be in your replies, talking not only to you, but to everyone who replies to you, trying to get them to argue with him. So in the Discord for the Dick Show, this message gets out, and it's Dick just defending Vito for making a statement. I don't have the clip. It's on Rekieta's show. But Vito explicitly says that he does not support hate speech. So if he sees hate speech on YouTube, he will report it. He will flag it. He actively flags any video that contains what he considers to be hate speech and a violation of their terms of service. So people are like, why? How do you parade around with this shit while also enabling this system? And then Dick says, that was the focus. Dang, honestly, Vito is not wrong to flag things he thinks violate the terms of service. But we live in a world where a few companies control all speech online and they are enforced randomly, so we hate that he does it. I think his principles are intact. Like, no. He's willing to stand by multi-billion-dollar corporations that exploit the fate of absolutely everyone that they're involved with so that they can put out a specific line of products which engage people and promote a specific worldview that is more profitable to them long-term. That is not principled, that is being taken advantage of. And Vito is completely fine being taken advantage of all the time. The appropriate response from Dick would be, yeah, that's really gay. They have this system, right, where they don't want to hire human beings to actually work on YouTube and respond to reports. That costs money, and because they're in California, they have to give them like insurance, and there's rules against contractors and shit in California, so they have to hire people. And instead of doing that, because they don't want to do that, they use robots. They spend billions of dollars advancing machine learning, and then they rely on user input to decide what videos are to be flagged or not. So Vito is enabling this system that not only devalues its own workers, which not only devalues the content creators, which not only actively reduces freedom of speech on the internet, which not only actively reduces creative expression on the internet, but then he goes around saying like, oh, jokes are funny. Like, I just hate Vito. I don't have any good things to say about Vito. I don't think he's ever been funny. I don't think he has a good personality. I don't think he's likable. I don't think he's principled. And it's doubly frustrating because he wants attention. And right now he has attention. And all attention is good attention to him. So if you try to point out, it's like if you try to point out his hypocrisies, in his mind, he's winning because you've gotten he's gotten an emotional reaction from you. And it's like he doesn't matter what it is or what the context is or how bad it makes him look. As long as you're thinking about him or criticizing him, in his mind, he's a winner. So even this is like a huge win when people are forced to like notice something that he's done. And I really just hate him. It's just bullshit. I can't stand it. And what's really shocking is that Dick then stands by him and says like, no, actually, this is okay. Like, what the do you mean it's okay, bro? How much of your own shit do you have to lose to narking before you start saying, actually, this isn't okay? Is it like you're in a position where you can't pick your friends anymore, so you have to deal with Vito? You want to reboot the biggest problem in the universe, so you have to deal with Vito? Vito could be running around in, like, a G-strap sucking and you know, doing whatever the fuck he wants and being as big a hypocrite as he wants, but you have to put up with him because that's your new co-host for the biggest problem. Like, grow some balls, dude. Tell your co-host that he's a piece of shit. Stand up for yourself. Why are you allowing yourself to get bent over by Vito of all people? He's so disposable. You're in LA. Every other person in LA is another Vito. You could Vito, and you could kill the next 10 replacements of Vito, and you would still have another Vito left over to do your show for less money than the first Vito's asking for. You could go through 1 million Vitos, and you would still have some Vitos left over. It's just bullshit, man. You could, yeah, you could be Vito. Soapbox in my chat says he could be a way better Vito. You could find people willing to pretend to be Vito who would do a more interesting job as Vito than the real Vito. I used to think that Dick was like a secret, like had secretly vasectomized himself and not told Marie, but now I think he's just a eunuch because Vito obviously took his balls at some point to stand up and say, actually, it isn't wrong to flag things which he thinks violates his terms of service. I'm so glad that my co-host is an automaton in the YouTube machine learning algorithm flagging videos for hate speech. What a good boy he is. It makes us look so much more likable when we protest or counter-protest at Netflix and talk up the antics of Dave Chappelle. He says Black Lives Matter. It's good optics, guys. It's good optics. Really disgusting. I decided I hate libertarians. I don't know what I'm going to call myself, but I can't be libertarian because I hate this. Liberalist. Liberalist. I mean, classical liberal is the appropriate label, but if you say you're a liberal, everyone thinks, oh, so you want to suck. Like, no, bro. I just want to be left alone. I want to be left alone. I don't want to be forced to educate my children on gender identity at the age of 5. I don't want to have to pay for health insurance that doesn't actually do anything. I don't want any of this. I just want to be left alone. I don't want to have wars overseas for Israel. I just want to be left alone. We need a radical, here's my party, okay? I'm going to fly back to the U.S. and we're going to start this political party together. We're going to become the radical isolationist. We will only vote for things that leaves us alone. Any bill about repealing bills that don't leave us alone is okay. Vetoing war is okay. New bills to increase our being left alone is okay. We will be radical isolationists. Our icon will be a palm tree, a volcanic island in the Pacific, and we'll just be the leave us alone party. And we'll do protests on Capitol Hill, and we'll just say, leave us alone, leave us alone, go away, leave us alone. We're tired. Off. That's our chance. And I won't, if I run for president, I won't have a vice president pick because I want to be left alone, and the vice president sounds really annoying.